All right. Now we're back, and this time I want to show y'all how to make another kind of door. So last time we made the triggerable door, and the time before that we made the physics door. So if you don't know how to make a door, period, just go back 2 episodes and watch how to make the door, because we're about to make the key card or the keypad door. So first things first, this is going to be a longer episode because it takes a little bit of time to put this together. But the first things first is what we want to do is we want to go to our third person blueprints, and then go to our doors folder, and we want to make a copy of our trigger door. So duplicate that folder, or you can just go inside and duplicate it, and we'll make a new folder. So duplicate that, and we're going to call it keypad door underscore BP. Cool. We'll move that keypad door to another folder here. We'll make a new folder called keypad door. Keypad. Yeah, we can call it keypad door. It's just, I hate putting D's beside each other. It's just like duh, but whatever. So take the door from your trigger door and put it into the keypad door, the correct one. Okay, I accidentally did a copy, but what you're supposed to do is move it there. I can delete it out of here now. Alright, so now we've got one, and what we need to do is edit it. So go and double click on it, and we need to take the code away, because right now it's acting like a trigger door, and we don't want it to act like that. But we do want everything here to be set up. Only thing is we want them, when they go into the box, them to pull up a keypad. So take this and drag it out. And the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to make a variable in this door, and we're going to call it correct, because this is going to tell them if they got the keypad correct or if they didn't get it correct. We'll put a branch here by holding B. Connect that branch here. If the branch is true, then we want everything to happen like we want it to open the door. So if the code is correct, drag your correct and connect it right there. So if the key code that you type in is correct, we want it to open the door like normal, right? However, if it is false, what we want it to do is bring up another widget. So we want it to create a keypad widget. So create widget, and then we're going to add that to the viewport. Okay, and then what we need to do is we need to get the player controller, because when the widget comes up, we want them to be able to click on things. So get player controller. It will be get player controller if you can find that one. It's right here. All right, and then you want to say set show mouse cursor, and then you want to hook that up and make sure you set it. And then you also want to set the input mode, not input, input. And you want it to be to UI and game. And you hook that up right there at the end here. And I'm going to drag mine back because it's getting a little bit ugly. Let's drag all of this back. This here and this here. And you're not done yet. So once you have the mouse cursor being shown, right, you want them to focus on this widget. So connect that pin there. Boom. Now when you compile and save, it's going to give you an error because you don't have a widget. So the next step is we need to create this widget here. So we can keep this open, but let's go down here to your content browser, go back to your third person, go back to blueprints, HUDs. We're going to create a new widget here. User interface, widget blueprint, and let's call it keypad underscore WB for widget blueprint. Alright, so this is where we're going to set up our keypad. So double click on this, add a canvas box or canvas panel. Okay, now remember, wrap your canvas panel, right click on it and wrap it with a scale box first, then right click on it again and wrap it with a size box. Click on your size box, change the width and the height override over here. Again, I'm gonna change mine to 1920 by 1080. And again, we do this so that it appears correctly on everybody's screen. So now that we've got that, what we need to do is we need to type in uniform grid panel up here. Boom. And drag that onto your canvas panel. Once you got that there, you can put that in the middle, right down there. So anchor it to the middle, and you can kind of drag it to the middle right here and make it a little bit bigger. And this is our keypad, so this is where the numbers are going to go. So uniform grid panel, you can move that right there in the middle. And I think that's a good size right there. Compile, save. You can make it whatever size you want to. But here's the most important part. We're about to start adding buttons into here. So we need about 12 buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. OK, 0, clear are the buttons we need. So let's add those 12 buttons, and this is going to take a little bit of time. All you have to do is come over here, take button, drag it onto your canvas panel. Once it's onto your not your canvas panel, but your uniform grid panel. Once it's there, you're going to see it's very small in the top. No problem, because we're going to fix that once we have all our buttons there. Before we continue, click on your uniform grid panel. In the child layout, put the slot padding, change it to 5, and change the minimum desired slot width in each to 10. So that should get us right. Also, on this first button, we're going to name the button B_1 so that we know that it's the number 1 button that we're putting down. Cool. Once you got that, you can do this and get to that, but we're going to do that at the end. Okay? So we'll leave it alone for now. Just add another button in right here on your uniform grid panel, and remember to name the button 2. So do this all the way up to 0, basically. You can call it B_2, so we'll keep it consistent. So B_2, and you see it's right on top. The way you move it is just click right, and now it's moved. We can duplicate that button here, duplicate, and move it to the right, and we'll call that one B_3. Now, for this one, you can duplicate it. This one, you can duplicate it and move it down, basically. Duplicate and move it down. And we'll call it B_4. Alright, so just do the same thing all the way, you know, in the bottom row, just put OK, 0, and clear. But I'm going to do mine right here, and you can follow along if you wish. If you don't, it's also cool. You can skip ahead. Alright, so now we're on the bottom row. Whew, almost done there. Duplicate. Move it down. So this one I want to say OK. So B_OK. Duplicate that junk and make it 0 here. B_0, and then last one is a duplicate. Okay, move it to the right, and we'll call this one B_clear. Alright, once you got all that saved and compiled, that was a lot of work. Next thing we need to do is we need to make all these buttons so that they fit inside this grid panel. So click on each button and then change the horizontal and the vertical alignment to the last button here. So that will make our buttons fill out the size that they're supposed to fill. Okay, we're almost done. About halfway there, really. This was the hardest part besides the coding up these buttons. So that's the other part that's going to take the longest. It's the most tedious. It's not hard, I should say. It's just going to be a lot of work like this. Alright, so now that you got all of those buttons done, what we need to do at the top is we need to add a text block. So click and drag a text block out. You can set the size to something big, something like, let's say, like 77 is good for me. This is going to be the numbers that they're entering in, and we'll have the numbers appear here. So in order for that to happen, let's come up here to where it says text block and rename it T_input. and make sure you click is variable. Perfect. Almost done, almost done. Make sure you center that text block in the middle. I've centered mine to the top middle. My grid panel is in the middle. Last thing is we need to put the numbers and the text on each one of these buttons. So grab a text and drop it on each button. You can change it while you drop it over here in the text. So that one's going to say 1, and so on and so forth. Let's go. Alright, so this is going to be really cool once we start using this, because each one of these numbers is going to be coded up to be those numbers. But like I said, we're only about halfway done, so if you are, ahead of me at this point, go get a drink and go get some like tacos or something, and we'll come back here and we'll finish this up. And then for the middle one, I'll put 0. And this one I'll put clear. All right. Compile, save. Now that you've got this here, we are set and ready to go. So let's go into our event graph here, and we're going to create a few variables. So the first variable that we're going to need is a reference to the door. So create door ref, and what you're going to do is create this as the reference to the door. So type in keypad door, and we're going to use the object reference. The next variable that you need to create is going to be input. Not init, input. And that's going to be a string. So change the variable type to a string. And then lastly, we're going to add one more variable here, and that's going to be the correct code. So this is going to be the actual correct code, and we can set that to whatever we want it to. So once you compile and save, I'm going to come down and set my correct code down here to 1, 2, 3, 4. So if they type in 1, 2, 3, 4, then the door will be open. Alright, so now that we've got that set up, let's actually put some codes in here. But before we do that, let's set up some functions. I know it's a lot of prep, but let's set it up. So the first function we want to create is called set input text. Set input text. And the reason why you want this is because when they typed or when they click something, you want it to appear on the screen. So that's what we're going to do here. The first thing you need to do is set your input. So grab your variable, input, set. Perfect. Alright, the next thing you need to do is get your input right here and get it. Okay. Now what we need to do is, for the set input text, let's come down here on the left hand side and let's add an input, and we'll call it number, N-U-M-B-E-R. Most important thing about this is you want to make sure that it's a string. There we go. From the number, actually you want to connect these two here. So connect that, and then there's going to be an append that we need to do. So drag out from here and type append. Perfect. For the number we want it to go into B, and for the input we want it to go into A. Cool. Now the last thing we need to do is set the text. So grab your input, T_input, and get it. Drag off of it and write set text. Perfect. Once you connect that up, then you connect this to that. Bam. And that should actually be set up. That looks pretty good. So compile and save. The next function that we need to set up here is called close widget. This one's very simple. All you have to do is drag off of here and type remove from parent. And we're done with that one. Let's make another function here called clear input. And we'll use this when you press the clear button. Basically, we want to come down here and get our variable set input. set. There we go. Connect that right on up, and then you want to get your, you want to make sure that's blank, right? And then get your text here, T input, get it, and from there you want to drag off set text. Connect it here and connect it here. So now the text will be blank whenever you press the clear button. Compile and save. And then the last function that we have to set up in order for this to work right is called try door. And this will happen every time you press the OK button. So it's going to check and see if the code is correct. So the first thing we need to do is set the input like normal. Set. Okay. Then we'll get our text input down here. And we're going to get text. There we go. Once you got the text, put it into your set input. Bow. And then from here, we're going to see if this equals the correct code. So drag out your correct code, get the correct code, and we want to see if it equals it precisely. Equals. So for this one, you want to go down in the string and equals exactly. So if it exactly equals that, perfect. Then we want to set up a branch. So hold B, left click, connect this to the red, and connect this to here. So now we got two options. So if the code is equal, if the correct code is correct, right, what we want to do is get all actors of the class, and the one that we are looking for is our door. So type in Keypad door, and there it goes. And then drag that up a little bit. What you would like to do is get, so drag off of here and get a copy. And from this copy, we need to set that this code is correct. So set correct. Boom. And yes, we want it to be true. So the code is correct. And then the last thing we need to do after that is we need the widget to close. So come down here to your function and close widget. Boom. That's correct. Now, if the code is false, we want to do something else. So we want to set the text. So here we go. Set the text input right here. And we want it to say wrong, basically. So we can actually type in here wrong, wrong. So when they put in the wrong code and they press OK, then the keypad's going to tell them that it's wrong. And then we need to set the text. So grab out your text, get it, off of it, set text right there, and you just connect the pink to the pink. Wow, perfect. So that should actually be set up now. Everything is set up there. All of our functions are in there correctly. Last thing we need to do is we need to go back to the event graph, since we have all of our functions, and we can delete everything, honestly. You don't need any of that right now. What we do need is we need to drag out our buttons, or not necessarily drag them out, but click on each one of them. Since they're titled, this is going to be a lot easier. Each time you have a button clicked, you press on clicked. So down here, on clicked. And all we're going to do is set our input text. So grab the function, set input text, and drag it right beside it. Connect them, and match the numbers. 0, so I need to type 0. Perfect. Do that for all of them. So again, you could skip ahead, or you can watch me do that. But here's a faster way to do it. Just copy and paste, and then you can just set it right. Just make sure you match all the numbers with the numbers, or else your keypad's gonna be really janky. Alright, cool. So yeah, I'll speed this part up too. Alright, cool. We've got all the numbers in here now. Now for your clear, on clicked, what you want to do is grab your function, clear input, and just hook those up like that. And then lastly, for your button, OK, When you do your on clicked, you want to grab out your function try door. Perfect. Compile, save, and now we should have a nice looking keypad. Let's check this out. Oh, before we move on, go back to your door and make sure you change the widget here to keypad. Alright, so let's check it out and test it. If it works, we're good. If it doesn't, we'll make some fixes. But if it works, we're done with this video. So go back to your blueprint doors, keypad door this time. Let's drag that out. And we'll move it around town. Wow. And we'll press play. When we press play, we should be able to go up to the door. Oh, yep. You know what I didn't do, though? Here's what I didn't do. Go back to your widget. HUD's widget. Where it says text block, let's delete the words text block here. So delete it. Just make it say nothing. Perfect. Now let's test it out one more time. Alright, so now, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Is that the, yes! And the code opened. Door opened. Beautiful. Now it's unlocked. You want to see what it looks like when it says wrong? Let's put the wrong code in this time. 5, 6, 7, done. Okay. Wrong. Clear. Perfect. Hey, thanks for joining me on this video. We got a keypad door now. Join me in the next one, and we're going to start like color coding the doors and placing them throughout the level. So thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.